Well, good morning, everyone. Have a blessed day to start out with and all that good stuff. I guess I just wanted to touch on a few things for a little bit. Uh, I don't share a lot of the stories that or things that have happened to me in my life. Um, I usually give them, I guess, and hold them up for gifts to God. Uh, I don't really go out of my way to boast about things or share everything, but sometimes I'm feeling that there may be a need for me to share some of the wonderful things that God has brought into my life. Um, how far to go back? That can be a fun one to play with. Uh, One story I would like to share, um, and I wasn't reminded of it until recently from another school bus driver whose name was Nisha, or Nish. And I really appreciated stopping by her channel and giving her some love and support and praising God, of course. But it reminded me of a story of a kind of a challenging route I had as a school bus driver. Um, but I did things maybe a little differently than some other school bus drivers. But I always tried to ensure that when the children got on my bus route, that I always welcomed every one of them by their name. First 2 weeks of school, I always spent learning every single student's name on my bus route so I could always greet them by their name when they stepped on the bus. Greet them with a smile and a positive attitude because I was the first face they ever saw in the morning other than their parents. And I wanted to have them leave the school bus and go to school in a positive, happy way. Now, the story kind of entails in this one route where uh, there's many stories, but this one kind of stood out to me. I had a young man who was riding my route, and he was kind of bouncy, energetic, and a wonderful young man. And if you're with students long enough, you can kind of sometimes see that things are bothering them. And throughout the year, it was probably about nearly about a third of the way, maybe 2/3 of the way through, something happened to him at school. I mean, I'm not privy to everything by any means, but I seen that he was pretty distressed. And I reached out and kind of encouraged him without asking details because I don't need to know those, but I can always encourage, young men or young ladies on our school routes to, you know, help them persevere through some challenging times. And I kept encouraging him and bringing hope to him. So, like when he, even after he left school and then on the way home, I again wanted all my students to be in a positive frame of mind. So when they got home to their parents, it makes life much easier when they have that joy and spark in their heart and their eyes. Well, I felt really shocked because the last day of school before summer break, uh, he stopped at where I'm sitting up in the front of the bus and letting students off. Usually, the last day was the hardest for me because I always loved all the kids, just as my own. And he stopped and he turned to me and basically said, "Just want to let you know you saved my life this year." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "I was really considering ending my life, but I wanted to thank you." And at that time, I was kind of shocked at the moment, and I just, well, thank you for sharing, and you be safe and keep smiling. And away he went, and that was the last I seen him that year. Because as a school bus driver in my district, we were never guaranteed the same route from year to year. It was all seniority based, and we rotated a lot. Great young man. I can't remember his name for the life of me now, but I wouldn't share it either because that wouldn't be. I wouldn't want to put him in that place. But the story I can share. But never underestimate the power of the kindness and the positivity as a school bus drivers can share with students. And this wasn't, I honestly feel on my heart and mind that God was able to work through me to help bring this young man back and keep him safe, especially in the time of turmoil he was going through. And we all have our place in this world. And that time, I'm just very thankful that God was able to work through me and help this young man. I have many other stories, but this was just one that stood out because of how it so affected this young man and brought him back and gave him hope so he could move up and become a wonderful young man in our society, in our world, and again, another tool of God to help out others. And he can, it's like the ripple, and throw a stone into a pond, the ripples will send out and it will affect everything. You may not see it, but it does. But I just thought I'd share this story this morning with everybody, and because, like I said, that's one story I haven't really told very often, but I have many more. But that was one that just came to mind this morning after visiting Nisha and her channel, and thought I'd share that with other people out there. You never know how you can affect others by just a kind word and a kind heart and a little bit of understanding. Even when faced with adversity, we don't know their lives fully, but we can bring them around and allowing God to work through us and help others. Well, blessed be to everybody. You have a wonderful day. May God keep you safe in his hand. And if you're ever stressed, reach out. His loving hands and his guidance will help you all. Love you all bunches. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.